Hello, my mimics, and welcome back to the Mimic Commentary, episode 33. If you are watching this as part of early access, you may have noticed that only people who pay the silver tier have access to this episode. Reason being is, it's not trying to get more money out of you. If you're watching this as part of the public release, obviously I've released this to the public. Everyone can watch this now. But the goal is that, you have to watch episode 31 for the rest of the series to make sense. And part of the series making sense is, allowing me to talk about myself as I talk about Elden Ring. I want one of the goals I have for this channel and this project is to, be very open and honest, to hopefully, inspire others to share their stories and allow themselves to be vulnerable with people they trust, and hopefully kind of remove some of the shame that might be burdening them, regardless of where it comes from. For me, my shame comes from, childhood sexual abuse and the things around it. Namely, the gambling addiction doesn't really bother me. I don't really that's not. That was just a phase. I don't really it really was just a phase. It was mostly with Magic the Gathering cards, and I was really good at Magic the Gathering. I would go to tournaments and stuff, and I played Legacy, I played Modern, I played competitive Commander, I played Standard. I played them all competitively, and I was fairly good. But I spent too much money on the hobby, and it was opening the packs of cards that was giving me that high. Oh, geez, I think I do not have enough resources to get through this place. So, that doesn't... I feel fine. I don't really have any problem talking about that. My biggest shame comes from the pornography addiction. That is really what gets me. This is something interesting. So we're gonna talk about lore, and we're gonna talk about me. One of my inspirations for doing this series was Epic Name Bro, and not just from the Dark series, which is public on his channel, but Epic Name Bro used to do a lot of playthroughs of Dark Souls, and in those playthroughs he would talk about himself, and he would talk about what's going on in his life and his family and his struggles, and then eventually he took all those videos down for one reason or another. I think to be a little more private, and that's perfectly acceptable. I think that's okay. But now that I did episode 31, I can talk more about myself, and we can still talk about the lore of Elden Ring. I still want to try to do the entirety of Elden Ring, but I think now being able to talk about myself, it'll give me more motivation to do these episodes and these videos, because I really do feel really comfortable. I do feel really comfortable talking about it now. If we asked Gostock to... So we're going to flip back and forth. We're going to go from... we'll talk about this too. This is actually... me flipping back and forth. This is kind of relevant to the channel and the story of my channel. And I guess as me as a person. But Gostock calls for someone to open the gate. It's very interesting. Who's going to open the gate for him? Who's up here? Is it supposed to allude that it's this guy? But you could see the item here. It reminds me of in Sense Fortress. There's the rolling ball trap, and there's no one there pushing the lever. It's just automatic, and it just knows where you are throughout the level. I always thought that it would have been cool if it was a snake man who was pushing the lever, and then once you killed the snake man, that would stop. But that's Dark Souls. That's not Elden Ring. Oh, Commoner's Simple Guard. Did I already get this? Did we get this off a random drop? Yeah, we did. Why did it say it was... Wait. Oh, the difference is... So this is... Okay, so the difference is the cloak. So this is what makes it simple. Oh, okay, so the Commoner's Garb, it's a little more ornate. If we recall, this is they wear the board from the neck to depict the sprawling tree, its roots and branches forming two holes. This is a self-imposed shackle, a voluntary display of allegiance to the Erd tree that increases faith. A voluntary shackle. I'm not going to start doing a lot. I promise I won't do a lot of like psychoanalyzing the text. But I mean, just from a self-imposed shackle, I don't know. That kind of feels like a commentary, maybe on shame. You know, I Elden Ring. We're gonna get to parts of the lore and the story that are like, I can't not talk about like trauma and trauma recovery. To do the story justice, you know, just to pull back, you know, since we picked the prophet class, and I gave myself the blindfold, so we always have the prophet's blindfold. Since we picked the prophet class, we can do a little cheating. Like, my second video, about Renala and Ronnie. You know, I made that video because I really just wanted to talk about suicide, self-harm, and how that impacts the people who love the person who, you know, hurts themselves. That was, you know, that's really why I wanted to make that video. When we talk about, like, when we get to talk about Marika and her past and how trauma informs why she does her things, Radigan and him not remembering things, and how that informs what he does, that's going to be really important, as well as the silver tears and the mimics. So I'm gonna go to the round table holds. We're gonna buy the spells that we got from the Godskin prayer book, because I think I want to do a black flame build for this run. Because when we see the black flame, we'll say why.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Does he have anything we'd like? Boost. You know, these are probably. We don't really need them. So let's look at his inventory. We probably talked about this before. It's interesting that he's festering bloody fingers. It's interesting that he's looking for good luck. The fingers are the bandit gives it away that he's a thief and that he's stealing your runes. But yeah. So let's go back to round table hold and buy those things. One of the things that I learned, or maybe I should rewind. You know, releasing episode 31, releasing chapter 1 out of early access. Oh, by the way, chapter 2 is in the process of being edited. Chapter 3 is actually done and uploaded, but that's the shadow of chapter 3. The real chapter 3, the golden chapter 3 needs to actually be written, because it's going to be very different. And I don't want to spoil the surprise, but it's going to be, I will say that the real chapter 3, I was inspired by a one-man show of Macbeth I saw, and the framing of it was a guy was locked in an insane asylum or mental institution, and he was reenacting Macbeth inside of his cell, and he played every character. So that is just your hint. Oh, Roderika's here too. Gosh, okay, so we have a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I want to talk about me, and I want to talk about Elden Ring. So first, we'll do the round table hold. We'll do Corrin, we'll do Roderika, we'll check if everybody has anything to say for us. And then I want to talk about like why I did some kind of like, I don't know, kind of erratic things, locking down my Discord. And the reason why I want to talk about this during the Mimic commentary is the Mimic commentary has always been twofold. It's supposed to be the commentary of the mimics in Elden Ring, but also Jack is a mimic. Like, you're getting a commentary of me and why I do the things I do on my channel. You know, you're seeing behind the curtain. Imagine if Miyazaki was able to tell you all the secrets in Elden Ring and why he does certain things, and, you know, why he made certain decisions and why he decided to take some information out. One thing I just noticed is that these chairs are the same chairs from Stormvale, I think, from last episode. And that tells us, there is that storm connection, especially with the two hawks on the end, the two storm hawks on the end, and then you have the lion in the middle. That's kind of interesting. Sat around this round table with these kind of like tree weapons, and then the ancient Erd tree in the middle. And then the statues obviously come after with the golden flower. And then more statues of the knights. Okay.
You appear to be doing well.
I appear to be doing well.
Well,
Yes, it's.
would you
I
like to
appear.
learn an
I appear to be doing well. Okay. What do we? We don't need to buy anything for him. We have this. Okay. He is gonna get. Before we give him the prayer
May
book,
the golden order shine through.
let's just look at it one more time because we won't have this again. Let's just recall that this is a prayer book made out of skin. So the leather, the binding on the outside is skin, and it has this signal or this sigil on the front that looks like the seal's sigil. God slaying black flame. Okay.
Further study of
Yeah, of course you can.
That is a work of heresy.
You say that about everything.
Incantations bear no lineage from the Erd tree.
True.
Very well. I'll take it off your hands.
It's good. It's good he's wearing a blindfold because he might be he might be upset knowing he's touching a skin book. Oh, yuck. That's gross. Oh, damn. We can't use Black Flame yet? Oh, but we can use Black Flame Blade. A Black Flame incantation of the Godskin Apostles. The page it looks really weird at the bottom of the page. It looks very wrinkly. Oh. Okay, can look at the very bottom left of the Black Flame Blade, like the page in the background. Does that kind of look like a brain? Like, does that look like a brain to you? Let me know if you see a brain. I'm seeing a brain. That's interesting. That's interesting. I should tell Senator Tarnish about that. He might like that. Engulfs armament held in right hand with a black flame. This incantation can be cast without delay after performing another action. Black flame is weighty. After dealing damage, it continues to sap foe's HP for a very short time. The description of being weighty is very similar to, Black Flame has its roots in the abyssal sorceries from Dark Souls. I don't think there's anything equivalent in Demon Souls, but both of these have like the same description. In Dark Souls, the abyss sorceries talk about how they're weightier, they're more physical than regular sorceries, and it has to do with like the weight, I guess, of the human soul and the darkness found within. What's interesting, we're gonna have to, if I buy, I don't think I'll be able to level up. Oh, I need one more level to use the fireball. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see if I can actually level. I don't remember where I was talking about. You're gonna have to forgive me. It was the Dark Souls sorceries. Oh, excellent. I can slot that in. It was the Dark Souls sorceries. About the being weighty. This is 7 more FP. That's nuts. But here's something that's interesting. Okay. This one of my very first theories before I started posting or making anything was that, isn't it interesting that this is Flamesling. Now let's look at Flamesling. Look at the picture, and then let's go to the right. Black Flame, Flamesling, Black Flame, Flamesling. Look at that. It's almost like it's an exact copy of Flamesling. It's like a duplication, except this one is colorless. This one is drained of color. So what's fun about the mimic commentary is that the more mimics we find, the more jackalore you get too. So one of my very first theories was that Black Flame is in fact mimicking fire. Particularly, now we're using our prophet powers. We'll search for the evidence later, yada yada. But just for now, Black Flame is specifically mimicking destined death. That's where I think it's coming from. Maybe it's supposed to be the flame of anathema. Is it anathema? Yeah, the flame of anathema. But mimic flame, that's why we're doing Godslayer build. And we'll see kind of, if we recall, we'll see more of this later through the series. But if we look at the, I think in an earlier video I alluded to the larval tier, this silver larval tier, creature mimicry. We're going to get more mimicry stuff later on. But we have the colorless somber smithing stones are an exact copy of the smithing stones. They just are drained of color. And so is the black flame. It's very clear to me. Black flame is mimicking fire. This isn't. And then when we'll jump down here and we'll actually, since I have, you need 27. Oh my goodness. Which has the best for our stats? Finger seal +2. I don't know why I was using that arcane seal. So if we, cast it, it's a colorless flame. We get that kind of eye seal. And when I think colorless in these games, in Elden Ring, I mean, when I think the colorless, the drained of color, I kind of think that's part of like the mimicking process. We haven't got to this stuff yet. We're playing a little fast and loose with the rules that I set up in the beginning. But hey, my video, my rules. I hope you don't mind. Okay, yeah, I didn't mean to talk to you. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna throw some shade at the wider lore community. I see some comments about me. Oh, that's why I probably had to, because it was too heavy. I don't remember. I see some comments. I compulsively search my name to see what people say about me because I have obviously problems, as you all well know. And one of the comments I see a lot is like, usually they're positive. They're like, "Oh, I like Jack. His theories are crazy. He thinks everything is a mimic." And I don't know. It's like, well, not everything is a mimic. I mean, yes, everything is mimicking something, but like not everything is a silver tier. But I do have some disappointment with the wider lore community that there are literal doppelgangers in this game, and nobody is like trying to find them. And people will like poo-poo some of like the easiest mimic theories. Bloodborne has imposter Yosefka. Like literally we have people pretending to be other people in previous Miyazaki games. And then, and that's like one of people's favorites. But then we get to Elden Ring and it's like, that's not possible. It's very, I don't know. It's a little frustrating. Here's something interesting, and I don't know if they did this on purpose, but this was, remember, I think I said this, this was added later when the Colosseum update was added. We have Marika here. From the intro, we know she has blonde hair. And who is she standing across? Oh, Roderika, blonde hair, hidden under her red hood. If you think of people who might have red hair, and people whose red hair might be hiding the color blonde underneath, and we have Marika over here, isn't that something interesting that they pose our characters like this? So that's one of the ways that like art is really, really phenomenal. You could just do these little things. Like we see a literal power, and they're standing in front of this fire, using our prophetic powers, thinking of maybe someone who wears hoods. We do. Let's see. Look at her. Hooded, blonde hair. Okay. Let's take a little detour. I hope you guys are having fun with this. Don't worry. We'll get to talk about how crazy I am soon, if that interests you. Look who's wearing a hood over here. This guy. Isn't that really cool? I think so. Elden Ring is such a special piece of art because it does these very little details. You're not supposed to notice all of them, obviously. You have to like have a really obsessive and keen eye. And it's no fault to anyone who doesn't. Let's just be upfront. My brain was broken when I was 8 years old, and I had to do a lot of it's not wired properly. Like I have CPTSD. I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and one of my coping mechanisms is overanalyzing fiction and kind of like going to La La Land. So, maybe I'm too crazy, and I'm just making stuff up, but, we see America crucified, her head's broken, they made the model like this. There's a fire between her and Roderika, and when we see Roderika, before she finds her purpose, where she has a lot of shame and insecurities, she is wearing a hood. Now, I don't think we've gotten to this point yet to, mainly theorize those hooded statues, but just by God be damned, I think those are Ratigan. And then we see a more proud Ratigan not wearing his hood, proudly showing his red hair. Later we learn that he has a lot of shame with his red hair. So you know what, screw the rules for mimic commentary. I'm going to talk about whatever the hell I want. The prophet class, the prophet has seen too much. He is working outside of time. Episode Theta occurred, and he is ready to rock and roll. So Ratigan, I love Ratigan, and I can't wait to do chapter 3. It's dedicated to Ratigan. He's such a phenomenal character. I really love him. Let's chat with Roderika. See, look at how she's standing. This is a very insecure posture, the way she's holding her arm. She's very tight. There's all these people here, but she's wearing a hood, even next to a fire. I don't know. Yeah, Roderika is one of my favorite characters, by the way. I love her. I think she's such an excellent character.
Greetings. Nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you too.
My name is Roderika. I should have told you sooner.
Don't worry, I already knew.
Isn't this place impressive, though?
Yes.
The round table hold. Covert quarters of the Two Fingers.
Okay.
And gathering place of champions who vie to become Elden Lord. I never knew the guidance bestowed upon us Tarnished had such fantastic roots, although it's all a bit much for me, in truth. I'm still looking for my own purpose.
Okay. She's searching for her purpose. She said a lot of stuff there. I am, excuse me. I learned recently that when I get triggered, when I get triggered and I start having memories of my abuse, I disassociate and I get memory loss. And the past year, me making YouTube videos, that has happened, and researching Elden Ring, that happened very frequently. I was eventually starting to induce them on purpose so I can access more memories. And a lot of crazy stuff happened, and stuff I'm not particularly comfortable with talking about on the internet. As of right now, I may talk about it in the future, but I have to consult with my therapist and things like that. But I would disassociate, and I would just forget. Let me pull up Roderika's dialogue, because I don't remember why I was saying that. I'm not disassociating right now. Oh yeah, I think what I wanted to say was, let's see. Let me read her dialogue and then let's see if it comes back to me. I'm still looking for my own purpose. Why did I don't know how I got on this tangent. You'll see how I got here. Yeah, now the mimic commentary is going to be really scatterbrained. So what would happen is I would disassociate. I would get triggered and I'd disassociate, and then I would write a bunch for my YouTube channel, and I would leave myself Easter eggs to remember later when I rewatch my videos. The mimic commentary. There is some mimic commentary episodes where I am actively in a crisis state. The Theta episode was one of those. I was actively in a crisis, and I don't remember most of it. it's kind of scary to think that could happen. But I did some things to like snap out of it. Right now, as of recording this, it is pretty late. I wanted to go to bed early, but I feel really happy and excited today, and I wanted to jump on to do a Mimic commentary just to kind of like talk it out, and kind of like share my progress with things. Like today, I like it's the New Year, so it's January. As the time of recording, it's January. Well, it was January 8th when I started this. Now it's January 9th. It's midnight. As most of you know, I'm a long-distance runner. I run marathons. Last marathon I ran was New York City. I'll be running in the Chicago Marathon. I actually, there's a charity that I'm working with, and I'll post that information at a later date if you'd like to donate to that charity. But I'm trying to kind of connect with my body again because I don't feel comfortable in my body, and I don't feel comfortable feeling how feeling my feelings in there. I should finish talking about what Roderika said, though, and then we could talk about when we're actually fighting enemies. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. So just today, I woke up early, and I made myself breakfast. Usually, you know, my wife makes me breakfast because if someone doesn't make me food, I won't eat. But I made myself breakfast, and she's a nurse. She works overnight, so I had to pick her up from work. After I picked her up from work, I had to drive and go to my job, and I felt really productive at my job today. I felt very focused. I started a little spiraling, and I took time for myself to do like a 20-minute meditation. I just went to a quiet place, and I did a 20-minute meditation, and that kind of refocused me. I cried a little bit doing the meditation. I was doing a gratitude meditation, and that made me kind of teary-eyed, but that was okay. And then when I drove home, I talked to a friend on the phone, and that was really nice. Just like, you know, I wasn't listening to music or a podcast or I had a YouTube video on. I decided I scheduled with a friend. I said, hey, I'll call you at 5 o'clock when I drive home. And that made me feel really good. I only got to see my wife for an hour before she had to go back to work. So we ate dinner together, and my friend Michael, who you've probably seen that I have the Dragon Slayer tattoo on my arm. Him and I got matching tattoos because he was one of the first people I told, and I asked him if he would do that with me. He does jujitsu, so I did a jujitsu class with him today, and I really exhausted myself, and afterwards I cried there too. And this one guy came up to me, he's like, hey, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, everything's okay. I'm just struggling right now. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, and I just and he comforted me, and it was just so nice and sweet. And then I came home, and I did yoga, and I did a meditation, and I had some pita bread with hummus, and I took a shower, and I thought, I feel really good. Let's do a Mimic commentary. So this is like not really probably too much lore analysis, maybe too much Jack analysis, but I don't know. I just feel in a really good spot. I didn't have any alcohol today. I didn't take any mind altering substances. I drink water and ginger ale, and I just I'm feeling good. So what did she say?
Oh, and please allow me to express my thanks for giving me that keepsake from my men. It was as if I was frozen with self-pity.
Oh, perfect.
I failed them at every turn. You have my gratitude. Please, take this.
All right, excellent. So, we know, let's start from her first dialogue. She says, where is it? Oh, this is why I went on that tangent. When I was in that fugue state, I trained myself that when I'm disassociating, to do things that benefit me. I essentially, in meditation and in yoga, you're supposed to set an intention at the beginning. So I would set myself an intention before I would trigger myself purposely. And generally, my intentions were always to benefit me. I would get into that fugue state. I would be in a crisis. I would feel uncomfortable in my body, feel unsafe. Sometimes I'd have hallucinations. but I would always snap myself out of it because I did I've left a lot of reminders around my house and on my YouTube videos. I would rewatch my YouTube videos. But one of the things I did is I uploaded, I made chapter 1 public, and then I froze my Discord in time by making it sure no one could post any messages, and I deleted my text dumps for Elden Ring base game and Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. So when she was talking, I was like, crap, where's my text dumps? And I had to make sure I didn't empty the trash can so I could take them out. And I got into that tangent because I was remembering, oh yeah, when I was in that fugue state, I deleted the files to stop me from doing more script writing, because that puts me in a bad place too. Chapter 3 has, there is a section in Chapter 3 that probably is never going to be public, that has to do with a lot of like death imagery that triggers me, and it was really dark. It probably won't trigger me now to read it, but I don't want to share that with the world. It's not really the type of story I'm trying to tell. So Roderika says, "Greetings, nice to see you again. My name is Roderika. Should have told you that sooner. It's okay. We all, you're focusing on you. Isn't this place impressive, though? Honestly, no. It's messy. Clean your bed, or make your bed. The round table hold. Covert quarters of the two fingers." So that's a really interesting line. This is the covert quarters of the two fingers. This is the secret quarters of the two fingers, which is the religion that our prophet class comes from and the confessors come from. And they want a tarnish to become Elden Lord, and gathering place of champions who vie to become Elden Lord. I never knew the guidance bestowed upon us tarnished has such fantastic roots. I wonder for her. Oh, we don't have her cloth yet. Okay. Has such fantastic roots. Although it's a bit much for me in truth, I'm still looking for my own purpose. Well, you will find your own purpose. We all are looking for our own purpose. The purpose that I found for myself, like when I recovered those memories and I started doing YouTube and stuff, like I want to be like the Black Swordsman is to me. I want to be that for somebody else. I want to be a success story for recovery. That's why I'm trying to do more mindfulness stuff, more physical activities, try and get my health in shape, I might be doing more therapy with more trauma-focused therapists, trying to tell my story, being open and honest about these things. I really want to inspire someone. And as I said in episode 31, I want to save somebody's life. I want to be part of the reason that someone thinks there's hope, like there's a chance for them, that they can do it. And I don't know how else to do that other than doing it and talking about it, and then hopefully, I don't know, being that person for somebody. I don't know. It might be very lofty, but I just want to make sure that the thing that I went through doesn't just stop at like me just trying to get past it and make my life better. I really want to hopefully make someone else's life better. YouTube is just one small part of that. Hopefully we could do something bigger in the future. I know I didn't mention, I'm sorry I'm so scatterbrained. A lot of you left so many kind comments on episode 31. First time I read them, I was still in a fugue state, and it really made me feel good. And then when I was more lucid after coming down from being triggered, I'm blown away. I'm just absolutely I'm floored by some of the things you all said, and you don't know how much it means to me. It means the world to me. It means the world to me. Oh God, I feel so special. I feel really lucky, and I really have a lot of gratitude. Really have a lot of gratitude for so many people in my life, but you all especially too. Strangers on the internet, reaching out with kindness. I think it's really spectacular, and I want to commend you. If you left a nice comment, I want to commend you for doing that. So what did she say? Sorry. We're gonna go back and forth. This is a Dr. Jack and Mr. Mimic. Where did she? I'm looking in the document. Gosh, she says, it's all a bit much, looking for purchase. She gives us a gift. That's what she did. Maybe I have to look up gift. Shit, well, okay. She gives us this golden seed. I can't find... I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't find the dialogue in the document. Okay. Well, she gives us a golden seed, and the golden seed is one of the starting class gifts, one of the origins. It's possible that she found the golden seed within the Lands Between when she got here, and then she gave it to us. I think but for me, I like the idea that she had the origin. When you make your character, you get to choose your gift. And one of the gift is a golden seed, and I think it says it washed up on the shore from the Lands Between. So I like to think that this woman of nobility, they had a golden seed that washed up on the shore from the Lands Between. So tarnished outside the Lands Between are existing in a time post-shattered Elden Ring. And one of them got a golden seed, and it was in the family. I can imagine that the wealthy... this is all imagination. This isn't actually in the game, but it helps us build out the world to think this is the type of... When you do creative writing, it's important to kind of like write out these details, but not have to include them, because then it adds richness to the world without it being explicit. So we could think, why would Roderika have this golden seed? So we first look at where do they come from. You can either have them as a gift, or you can find them in the Lands Between. If you choose from a gift, it's because the Elden Ring was shattered. Does it say that it was because it was shattered? When the Elden Ring was shattered, these seeds flew from the Erd Tree, scattering across the various lands. So one scattered into the ocean and then washed up on the shores. Golden seeds are very valuable because they're part of the Erd Tree. We can imagine that anybody could find a golden seed, however, they're very valuable. So noble families would probably buy them, or noble families might hire people or enslave people to gather the seeds. Who knows what they're doing outside the Lands Between with these seeds? Maybe trying to grow their own Erd trees. That would be pretty cool. Very interesting. But that's kind of like how I imagine she got the golden seed. And then as a keepsake, when she comes to the Lands Between... Oh, yeah, that's what they're called. They're called keepsakes. When she comes to the Lands Between, her keepsake is just that. We don't need a hug from Fia, but let's talk to Hugh.
Well, where have you been hiding? I took you for dead. No matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arms, then.
And where have I been hiding? I've just been taking some time. It's only been a few days since Mimic Commentary episodes. To me, the past 5 days has felt like a lifetime. Yeah, another thing, I talked about pornography addiction. A part of my abuse was... So I was 8 years old, and there was a neighbor, and he was a teenager, and he first got me into his home because he had a Nintendo 64 and Legend of Zelda, and I wanted to play Legend of Zelda. Then afterwards, he would start playing pornography on VHS tapes, and then I would get, eventually I would get physically abused, and it happened multiple times. So my abuse was tied to pornography, and even though it is abuse, and there was something I uncovered recently with my doing my memory work, my personal memory work, is that at some points it was violent, but there is pleasure involved in it. There was pleasurable feelings that my 8-year-old mind could not comprehend, but there was also painful feelings as well. But it was also associated with the, images of people having sex on a television screen. And from that, I developed an addiction to pornography because I have a difficulty self-regulating my emotions and how I feel and coping with stress. So one of the easiest ways to cope with stress would be to climax and have an orgasm. And it just kept going and going and going. I had a part of that fugue state where I uploaded those videos, deleted Elden Ring stuff, locked out my Discord. Was I also deleted every account that I had on any adult website. But the most important thing I did is I had a digital pornography collection on my hard drive that I had been accumulating for maybe 15 plus years since I was a teenager. All legal stuff. It was like, I would see a video on like a tube website, and then I would grab the link and I'd download it, or I would torrent something. Well, like torrenting is illegal, but like I'm saying, like I didn't have any like illicit materials of non-consenting or non-adult participants. But I had like over a terabyte of like videos. I had a lot of stuff because I've been accumulating for years, and I feel really proud to say I deleted that. I'm not out of the woods yet. It is an addiction, and it is something that I'm working on, and I need to go to more therapy for it. But the meditation and the yoga and talking about it is helping me. I don't really feel any shame talking about it anymore. I could shout it from the rooftops and be like, there are people there who are addicted to pornography, and they are not sexual abuse survivors, and they most likely they may have more shame tied to it, more shame than I have. And that's not to dismiss anyone who may be addicted. Gosh, I could talk for a long time about how I do not like how the algorithms for not just YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, et cetera, are bad for us, but also on adult websites, and how they funnel people into watching more and more and more and more. It's really not good. That being said, you most likely can consume pornography and not have a problem. But I got problems, so I can't. I can't. Maybe you can, but I cannot.
The girly boy here. She's crestfallen and can scarcely swing a blade. But she has a gift for spirit tuning.
Ooh.
I saw another one like her long ago. Their eyes share the same hue.
As my friend Tyler says, I think it was Tyler. Was it Tyler or Revu? I think it was Tyler. Their eyes share the same hue. In my mimic commentary, in chapter 1, I referenced that Hugh remembers Roderika from a previous new game cycle. That this place we're existing in, the Table of Lost Grace, is not the original Round Table Hold. This is just a memory of the Round Table Hold. So Hugh is just the embodiment of the memory that was Hugh, who physically existed there. And he's either remembering maybe Marika, who looked like a spirit tuner. For a time, I thought maybe it was Mikola, who looked like a spirit tuner. Are these gold? Are these gilded? There are gilded ones in Leyendell. These might be gilded too. But I like the idea that he is talking about Roderika here. Like the spirit tuner he saw Roderika, but he just, that was from a previous new game cycle. I think that is a little more interesting. Memory. So the reason why memory is so important and when we get the remembrances and stuff, we'll talk about that more. But the duplication of memories from the Wandering Mausoleum, we're going to learn about characters who lose their memories. That's really important for me because there's a lot of my life that I don't remember. Like I've had long stretches of disassociation where like if you've seen the Adam Sandler movie Click, where he just fast forwards his life, it's kind of like that. Like literally, there's just stuff I don't remember.
It's all a bit much for me, in truth.
Yeah, I know. I'm dumping on you.
Looking for my own purpose.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit much, but let me just tell you what the blacksmith said, Roderika. Let me tell you about that. He said you have a gift for spirit tuning. Remember, it's before you tell her. Before I tell her that she has a gift for spirit tuning, it's important to remember that. Are you guys liking the new? You guys liking the new Mimic commentary? Your $3 are going a long way. Early access. The art of strengthening spirit ashes is known as spirit tuning. Only a spirit tuner may perform this deed. Spirit tuning is not merely the simple act of imbuing strength. It is an art that lies somewhere between tuning an instrument and conducting a conversation, leaving both parties enriched, and each a soundless bell used to summon spirits. So Hugh has, just by seeing her, Hugh has some connection to spirituality. He can see Roderika because of the color of her eyes. By the color of her eyes, let's look at her eyes. Nope. Boop. Boop. Oh wait, I have a telescope, duh. But look at her eyes, can we see? Kind of very blue, very, very blue. Blonde hair, blue eyes. And look at that little, is that supposed to be obsidian? Maybe not, maybe it's green. Hugh can tell that she can, for one, talk to spirits, hear spirits, have a conversation with spirits, imbue them with strength. So that's pretty exciting. Part of my recovery is I was getting into like spirituality too, but I kind of like shied away from that. I understand its purpose, and I'm not knocking people who are spiritual or religious. I was interviewing someone who I met through my support group, who is very spiritual. And she actually, there's a lot of crossover between her beliefs and the mythos, the Elden Ring. She does tarot reading, she does astrology. She's, for her trauma recovery, she's done ayahuasca. And one of the crazy things she told me is when you do ayahuasca, it helps you recover memories, and a lot of people meet the mother or grandmother ayahuasca, like it's a grandmother. So when we get to that stuff, we're gonna talk about a lot of cool stuff. But it helped me expand my knowledge on these things. Me personally, I don't know if that it doesn't really fit into my life, but if it fits into your life, more power to you. I'm not here to tell you what should exist in your own mind. I do appreciate the learning about it, though, and I think some of the things she taught me helped me kind of reconnect my mind and my body together to be able to kind of experience life like a normal person.
It's all a bit much for I'm still looking. You're telling me I possess some kind of gift?
Yes.
I don't believe you. But if I do have this talent, and goodness knows it would be my first, I suppose I should try to hone it, shouldn't I?
You should.
I'll ask Master Hugh to teach me. Certainly he does appear intimidating and holds no love for us tarnished. But I know he's trapped here at the Round Table Hold. So,
yep.
I can tell.
Oh.
He's a gentle soul underneath it all.
That's so cute. I love their relationship that I think at one point he calls her his daughter or something. Or he calls her, his daughter, I think they have a really special and sweet relationship, and it's very nice.
If I do,
okay.
Also,
I'll ask Master Hugh to teach me. Is that did I fuck up? Oops, I shouldn't have swore.
Spirit tuning. I suppose I should try to hone it, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I'll ask Master Hugh to teach me.
Okay, then we tell Master Hugh. Roderika is a very clear homage to Farnese from Berserk. Fernie starts off as, spoiler alert for Berserk, Fernie starts off as like a girl from a noble family, and she's kind of she's got her own trauma, she's got her own struggles, and then eventually she learns that she has a connection to spirituality in the spirit world, and she essentially becomes a mage. So very clear homage. They kind of look similar too.
Back already. No matter. Lay out your arms.
Maybe for the mimic commentary, should the round table hold be where I talk about? I don't know. I don't know what to do. You guys are gonna have to tell me what you think. And your decisions most likely will not influence how I act, but they will be good feedback.
The girl. What about her?
Would you watch over Roderika? That's a really nice way to phrase it. Would you watch over Roderika? Would you watch over her? You know, kind of to me that gives like our Tarnished is showing care for her as well. Watch over her. You know, while she's here, be guidance for her. Be her guidance. She's not, you know, we're being guided by Grace. Grace is guiding us. Would you watch over her and guide her?
Are you out of your mind?
Yes.
You'd stay with an ugly brute who only knows how to smith. Absurd. Besides, she'd never agree to it.
This also is, this reminds me another from Berserk, Godo, the blacksmith, who essentially adopts a war orphan. I can't remember her name. No, what's her name? Oh well. He's an ugly brute who only knows how to smith, but he watches over this little girl as a, you know, he essentially adopts her as his daughter. So, that's a motif that Miyazaki likes to use from Berserk, and it's one that I like too. You know, the why I'm sorry, I like to. I was watching the show Everybody Loves Raymond. It's a funny sitcom if you're into that stuff. And there's a scene where like the grandfather like he scared the granddaughter and he goes to talk to her and apologize to her. And in that moment, I got really uncomfortable seeing like an older man with a child. And even though I knew that nothing was going to happen, like, you know, they were both safe. It's a TV show, and the grandfather is not, you know, the character isn't a gross guy. He's never made like gross comments about women or anything, or children. It's a TV show that was like on network television, like on ABC or CBS or something. But like my mind immediately, I got uncomfortable in my body. So I like to see, like, you know, he is coded as an elderly man who is not lusting after a younger woman. He says like, who wants to spend time with me? And then, you know, he shows her care and he teaches her, and their relationship isn't transactional. It's out of love and care and selflessness, and I really think that's really special. I think that's really special.
I refuse to believe
it's what she wants, is what he said.
I doubt you, but I know when something's too good to be true.
You gotta feel bad for him. There must be there's a lot of regret. A lot of regret and shame in Hugh. You gotta feel bad for him. Nope. I was playing when I was I did that last time. Too much Bloodborne. Yeah, okay. Well, let's see if I can. I can't tell her again. If I rest at the table, is she gonna move? Yes. Look at that. Time passed when we stood at the table of light. Light is time, and the reversal of it is a forbidden art. Okay, let's check her out. She has... Oh, actually, this is... I don't know if... You may have never seen this before. I don't know if this is, like, common in lore tubing stuff. But that's the little... That's where I think ashes are held. Like, when you summon a spirit ash, you put your left hand up. And, then you ring the bell. So that's what that is. Lots of books. She's got a candle lit. She's looking at her hands. Or she's looking at spirits. Maybe she's meditating. She has other animations that she does too, but I think she has to get more into her process.
Good to see you again. Thank you very much. I have you to thank, don't I? For persuading Master Hugh.
Yes.
I can happily announce that he has taught me the noble toil of
The
spirit
noble
tuning.
toil of spirit
I
tuning.
was yet unsure of what I might be able to accomplish, but if I might be able to help you all, I'd certainly like to try. And if there's any chance to ease the suffering of my dear men who were grafted, well, I certainly must try. Roderika, the Spirit Tune Apprentice. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Yeah, gosh, I love Roderika. Love Roderika. The line that she says there, if there's any chance to ease the suffering of my dear men who were grafted, well, I certainly must try. That is awesome. With the spirit tuning menu, you can spin runes and grave gloveworts to strengthen the spirits you summon from ashes. To strengthen named spirits, you'll need ghost gloveworts. So he needs ghosts, he needs grave, and I guess we'll do a +1. What do we got? What do we have? Let's use 4. Boom, put the runes in my body.
Greetings, are you here for...
Yes, I'm here for spirit tuning. And then... Oh, should I upload Oleg? Is Oleg our guy? Are you gonna be that guy? No, he was a traitor. He slayed traitors, but he was a traitor. No, we're doing Lone Wolf Asters. Okay. Let's see what Hugh has to say.
Well,
Nowhere.
you for
No, I didn't go anywhere, buddy. You're forgetting. It's too soon. It's too soon. Remember.
I spoke with the girl. She has a gift for spirit tuning. So I told her everything I know. I'm indebted to a spirit tuner I met long ago. It
Yeah.
was all I could do to honor her. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Don't worry. Don't doubt me. Don't doubt the mimic. Don't doubt the mimic. I think we have Gideon to talk to, and then I'll have to end this episode. I don't know if I your big lore thing is I told you Black Flame was Mimic Flame, and maybe I convinced you. If not, there's still more. There is that's the tip of the iceberg. With Black Flame is a Mimic Flame, we got more to go there. Let's chat with Gideon, and then we'll talk about some channel stuff, and then that will be that.
We've spoken long enough.
Oh, okay. He's not going to tell us anything. Yeah, so I have a second channel. There's only one video on there right now, just me running the marathon. I think it's at just Jack Dixon, Dixon. That's my name. I want to start doing other type of YouTube content that's not lore, that's not Elden Ring. I want to do like book reviews and movie reviews, or just like talk about a scene from a movie I like, or just talk about whatever. And I don't know, my goal, that channel as of right now has like 40 subscribers, but I want it to be I still want to put a lot of care and effort into that and make good videos, and maybe get a lot of views, and maybe the channel grows and stuff. Maybe I talk about my personal struggles and things like that. Maybe I talk about running. I don't know. Maybe I talk about jiu-jitsu if I get really into it. We'll see. So if you're interested, and you want to subscribe to that channel, go ahead. I'm not going to do Elden Ring. I might do video games on there. I don't know yet. I haven't really decided what I want to do. Mimic commentary is going to continue. I have a lot of videos scheduled. The first section of early access is being scheduled to release from next week or the week after. The first 30 episodes are going to be releasing, I think 3 times a week until it's 3 or 2 times a week until June. That's when episode 31 goes public. And then currently I'm editing chapter 2. Currently editing chapter 2. No ETA when that's going to be done because I have to do some special things for that one. And then Chapter 3 will close out the remembering arc. If you recall, I said that there was I posted a community post a while ago, and I showed like all the chapters for this upcoming video, and there was 21 chapters. There's not actually 21 chapters. The reason why I put 21 chapters is because there's 21 steps to recovery within ASCA, Adult Survivors Childhood Abuse, which is, not a woo-woo group. It's not a cult. It's not trying to get your money. There's no leaders. It's a science-based group therapy led by other survivors that runs on a script that is, clinically designed to help survivors of childhood trauma to turn from victims to survivors to thrivers. And there's 21 steps in that, so that's why there was 21 chapters. So there's not actually 21 chapters. There's 3 chapters for the remembering arc. Then we're going to move into the mourning arc, and then we will have the healing arc, and that will finish out the recovery saga, as I'm calling it. Mourning and recovery are most likely just going to be one video as a pop. The remembering has to have multiple videos because part of the remembering process, at least for me, was I would forget that I remembered. Which is crazy. It's crazy. I actually had a memory. I recovered a memory of me being triggered within the past year and telling myself, remember this moment. You're going to forget. Remember this moment. Remember how you feel right now. And then when I woke up in the morning, I forgot. And I know a lot of people feel that way. Like, I know it's, you go to bed and you're like, oh, I hope I remember this in the morning. But what I was trying to remember was the absolute sheer fear and terror I felt inside of my own body while I was safe in my bed. And the feelings of being re-abused, like my body physically feeling those sensations again. I forgot that happened. And I kept doing it again and again and again and again and again until I remembered it. So it's crazy. It is so crazy what the brain does. I feel like this type of insight, like talking about Elden Ring from the perspective of actively recovering through trauma, could be really not just insightful for Elden Ring, but also for a recovery too. I hope that maybe someone who is in a similar situation to me can watch these videos, watch the Mimic commentary and feel like you're listening to a friend telling you, this is what it was like going through it, just trying to share that. This might have not have been a very visually stimulating episode. Treat it like a podcast, I guess. Maybe you already do. That's just about that. There's so much stuff to talk about, and there's so much stuff about me I want to talk about. But there's so much Elden Ring to talk about. So who knows how long the Mimic commentary is going to go on. Please leave a comment. I don't care, for YouTube, I don't care about views. Comments give me my dopamine rush. But I want to know how you feel about listening. I just tell me how you feel listening to this. That's what I want to know. I want to know how you feel. What me sharing this stuff, me talking about it. I'm able to talk about it now, and I feel much more calm, and I'm all here. There's no. I have no reservations kind of right now. So I just, I guess that's that. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. I think we got a good thing going here, and the party doesn't stop. You're going to have to try harder if you're going to get rid of Jack. My heart keeps beating. It's undefeated. So until next time, let's do the thing.